This is going to be fun. My dad did this study and found out that there's actually others, that it's not just my dad. There's a bunch of people that have found this to be true. It's really neat. This brings us to the battle, the war right now that is going on in Gaza. Okay? You can go to the next slide. So, it's a very small section of land. Okay, that little section, that's 2 miles. All right? So you're not, it's pretty small. Again, I wish I could give it to you. Essentially, to the middle of my pinky across is 2 miles. I don't know what it is. 40 miles, maybe 50. That's it. I want you to understand this because I got this stat today. Right now, Israel has pushed in, the IDF has pushed in much further than this. This is an old picture. And now they are coming across on the Egypt-Gaza border and taking this land. This is Rafah, okay, at the border. And they're taking this to completely cut off any of the Gaza Hamas fighters, okay, so they don't have any supplies. This is in the last 20 days. Again, this is like 40 miles, maybe 50 miles at the most long. It's not very much, okay? In the last 20 days, down here in this little place of Rafah, this is where they get out to Egypt, all right? They have found 84 tunnels leading from Gaza to Egypt under the ground. They've destroyed 12 kilometers of tunnels just here. They have found 500 kilometers of tunnels under the ground of Gaza. When they got to Rafah, this little town right here, they said it was practically every other house was connected to tunnels where smuggling would happen between Egypt and Gaza, where they would send weapons and money and food and whatever else they needed through. 500 kilometers. All right, this right here, 500. This is just 5 kilometers. Multiply that by 100, and that's how many tunnels length they have found. Some of the tunnels were so big, you could drive a semi in them. One of them in the north, up here, was 265 feet underground. They were equipped with electric, kitchens, homes, defenses. They had like barred doors so that they would prevent military from coming in. They had food and weapons storages. They had communications, including internet. They had offices and meeting rooms all through these tunnels. I'm making a point of this because I found this one myself. I thought it was pretty cool. Up until this date, they've killed some 500 of the terrorists, and they've lost only 10 of their soldiers, which is astronomical. It's amazing. Okay? But imagine in this little area, 500 kilometers worth of underground tunnel. It's crazy. Now let's go to Amos chapter 6. Woe to you who are in ease in Zion, and trust in Mount Samaria, notable persons in the chief nation to whom the house of Israel comes. Go over to Calneh and see, and from there go to Hamath the great. Then go down to Gath of the Philistines. Are you better than these kingdoms, or is their territory greater than your territory? Woe to you who put far off the day of doom, who caused the seed of violence to come near. Calneh was one of the 4 cities, including Babel and Erech, which refer to Iraq. They were founded by Nimrod in the 3rd generation after the flood. Genesis chapter 10, verse 10. It's in the land of Shinar, in the part of Mesopotamia. So that's over in Iraq area. Okay, so that's, be warned, Iraq. Hamath, that's a fortress of Upper Syria, in the valley of Lebanon, northern border of Palestine. It's at the foot of Mount Hermon, which is in the north. We would call that Golan Heights and Lebanon. All right? We just mentioned those in other prophecies, that they would be wiped out and they would be Israel's. So we have Iraq, we have Hamath. Now it says Gath. You remember Goliath of Gath? Ashkelon, all of those were Philistine cities. They were city-states. All of those they are in Gaza. That's what those are. They are the Philistine territory. That's Gaza. Okay, so now we have that. It was, by the way, Gaza, Ekron, Ashdod, and Ashkelon. And if you want pictures, I took some of them while I was there. Verse 3, though, you see how I have it underlined? It says seat of violence. When they said seat in the Old Testament, it wasn't talking about a chair. It was talking about the leaders of the city that would sit at the city gate. They would be at the seat. We would call it the county seat, perhaps, which for us is Richmond, right? That's Madison County. That's the county seat. This is the place of the government, all right? It says the seat of violence. Now, this violence, this word that's translated violence, it often can be a noun, but sometimes it's found as a proper name. Okay? Now notice, we've listed these places: Iraq, this is Lebanon and Golan Heights, this is the Philistines, this is Gaza. Okay? I'm saying this for a reason. So when you take the word from the Greek concordance, go to the next one, Damon. Strong's Concordance, okay? This is it. It's number 02555 and then also 02554. All right? This is how you spell it. And here's the definition. Okay, we just took right out of Strong's Concordance. It's violence. That's why it's translated violence. By implication, wrong, unjust, damage, false, unjust, oppressor, unrighteous, violence done against, wrong. Then the other way it's translated, it also means make bare, to shake off, to violate, to do violence. Get this one, to take away violently, wrong, imagine wrongfully. Now I on purpose skipped something for you. This is how it's spelled. This is how it's pronounced.
Hamas.
Exactly. When it's translated violence in the Old Testament, sometimes calamity in the New King James, the word is actually Hamas. Sometimes when you read these translations, you're like, oh, that's a little confusing, but you're using it as a noun, not a proper name. Let's go down to Amos chapter 6, verse 4. Who lie on beds of ivory, stretch out your couches, eat lambs from the flock and calves from the midst of the stall, who sing idly to the sound of stringed instruments, and invite for yourselves musical instruments like David, who drink wine from bowls and anoint yourselves with the best of ointments, but you are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. Does that not sound like the leaders of Hamas? They were living in the lap of luxury, and all of their people were suffering and starving. In fact, every time they would do a drop of water and gasoline and food, Hamas would come in, take it all, steal it, and use it for their battles while their people were going hungry. In fact, on a couple occasions, they had snipers positioned so that if their people did go to get the supplies that were dropped by people like our nation, they would shoot them. They would shoot their own people so they could use it for their war. Sounds exactly like them. Amos chapter 6, verse 7. Therefore, they shall go captive as the first captives, and those who recline at banquets shall be removed. We're reading that in the paper. They took off 250 people. And now, you can't even find the head of Hamas. He's run scared. They say that he is one article, I think it was something like the invisible man is what they called him, because he's such in hiding. Because he's scared for his life. This is the one that I found Sunday night. In our Bible study, or our prayer meeting, we were going through Psalm 74. Got to verse 20, and on Sunday nights all I do is just read the passage and then we pray. And I came across verse 20 and I thought, there's no way. So it says, have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitations of cruelty, is the translation. The actual word is Hamas. Now, if you use it as a noun, the verse sounds a little weird. what you know, what I told you, of 500 tunnels worth for the battle that were supplied with electric and bathrooms and kitchens and all of that because they were living down there. Now read it again with Hamas in mind. Have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitations of Hamas. Pretty accurate. Now let's go to Ezekiel chapter 7. Verse 5. Thus says the Lord God, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And an end is come. The end is come. And forgive me, this, when my dad put it up, he put it in the King James, and I didn't change it from King James to New King James. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land, the time is come. The day of trouble is near. This is the distinct possibility talking about the Great Tribulation. This is talking about end times. Because it says, not a day, it says the day. And not the surrounding, not sounding again of the mountains. Now I will shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. And my eye, verse 9, shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord that smiteth. In other words, I'm going to do exactly to you what you've done to others. And it's going to be my hand. Verse 10, behold the day, behold it is come, the morning is gone forth, the rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded, violence, Hamas, is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor any of theirs, neither shall there be wailing for them. The other nations around them, as these people were trying to leave, Egypt didn't want them. Iran didn't even want them. Iran paid for them to go to battle, and they didn't even want them back in their country. Nobody's crying for these people getting wiped out. Verse 12, the time is come, and the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for the wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For the seller shall not return to that which is sold. Again, if Israel gives back the land of Gaza, they're going to do this all over again. This is just, it's not the complete fulfillment. If they don't give it back, this is a direct prophecy being fulfilled in verse 13. Although they were yet alive, for the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strength himself in the iniquity of his life. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and famine within. Remember, they've been saying all over the news, all these people are starving, all these people are hungry, they don't have food. Well, it's because Hamas has taken all the food. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him, because there's nothing left. Those who survive, verse 16, will escape and be on the mountains like doves in the valleys. All of them mourning, each for his iniquity. Remember, I don't know if I told you, but when the people of Gaza voted for Hamas to take over, 81% of the people voted in favor of having Hamas lead. And now they all regret it. That's literally what it's saying right there in verse 16. Every hand will be feeble, and every knee will be weak as water. They will also be girded with sackcloth. Horror will cover them. Shame will be on every face. Baldness on all their heads. They will throw their silver in the streets, and their gold will be like refuse. Their silver and gold will not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They will not satisfy their souls, nor fill their stomachs, because it became their stumbling block of iniquity. I want you to pay attention. Okay, so they're all leaving, right, because of their sin, because of the choice they made. Everybody's running. They're all fleeing to the mountains. But then also down here, it says they're just going to throw their silver and gold away because it's not worth anything to them anymore. It's not going to buy anything for them. I literally got this off of my phone yesterday. These are actually videos. I just took screenshots. If you want the video, I can show you. This is one 1.2 million people fleeing Gaza. 1.2 million people fleeing. And this interview, they were talking about why you're leaving, and then they were saying that Hamas is getting destroyed, and this old man was laughing at him saying, good, they deserve it, we're leaving. The reason they're leaving is because they don't believe Israel's going to give the land back, and there's nothing to stay for. That's literally what I just read for you in verse 16. Verse 19, this is money. There was 2 Hamas leaders in their tent that got killed by IDF forces. When the people in the tents around them went in after the battle, they saw a large pile of burning money. They said that it's estimated to be 80,000 shekels, or $26,000 in American money, burned in the tent because it was literally worthless to them. That was verse 19. Reading it before your eyes. Like I said, I got the videos. This was literally from May 30th, yesterday, where I got both of those videos. Just to keep these people here, because the world is sure, oh, all of these people want to stay. Us, we spent $320 million to build a dock where we could drop off food for these people that are leaving. It sunk within 2 or 3 weeks. Shows you how everything's going for us. But they don't even want to stay for that. There's nothing to stay for. Verse 16. All right. Make a chain, for the land is filled with crimes of blood. Like I said, I can show you videos and pictures by the hundreds of the bloody massacre that took place on October 7th. The city is full of Hamas. Therefore, I will bring the worst of the Gentiles, and they will possess their houses. I will cause the pomp and the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction comes. They will seek peace, but there shall be none. Netanyahu has told the entire world they will not give back any land that they are taking. What Ariel Sharon did was a mistake, and even if it costs his political position, he's not giving it up. If Israel gives the land back, we're still in the time of the diaspora, the dispersion of the Jews from around the world. If they don't, we just read prophecy being fulfilled in our newspapers. I got one more for you. Verse 26, disaster will come upon disaster, and rumor will be upon rumor. Then they will seek a vision from a prophet, but the law will perish from the priests and the council of the elders. Get this one. This is crazy. The king, who's he referring to? The king. This would be the leader of Hamas, okay? Because that's who this is directed at. The king will mourn, the princes will be clothed in desolation, and the hands of the common people will tremble. We've seen the common people. I mean, they're terrified. They're all running. 1.2 million people, okay? I will do to them according to their way, and according to what they deserve, I will judge them. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. Notice, it says the king will mourn, and the prince will be clothed in desolation. This is from a PBS article, and this was the title of the article from April 10th, 2024. Hamas leader says 3 of his sons have been killed in an airstrike, in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. They nuked 3 of his sons. That's literally what that verse just said. The king will mourn, the king will mourn, and the princes will be clothed in desolation. They they bombed them. There was nothing left of the building. Again, if Israel gives the land back, this is all going to happen all over again. But if they don't, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to, especially if Netanyahu gets his way, we're reading the prophecies being fulfilled before our eyes. In closing, Amos chapter 9, verse 14 and 15, I already read for you. I will bring back the captives of my people Israel, and they shall build up the waste cities and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and drink the wine from them. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. I will plant them in the land, and no longer shall they be pulled up from the land that I have given them, says the Lord your God. This is an announcement to all Gentiles, Arabic and not. The Jewish land is the Jews. Leave it be. You try and take it, you're going to lose. If you try and conquer the land, God will wipe you out, because that's his promise. His word's true. Heaven help our leadership in Washington.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the world to me that you're getting a blessing out of it. If this video was a blessing, make sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. That way other people can find it as well. Here in the link section, you'll find playlists and new videos that we put out. We try to do 2 or 3 a week. You can also subscribe to the channel by pressing on my face and then hitting the bell icon, and that will alert you to new videos. May God richly bless you.